and costs. Okay, but the last slide was just remaining behind, and that was non-defining relevant clauses. Okay, and today's non-defining and defining relative clauses. Okay, last time we learned about defining the relative clause, and today we are going to study about non-defining relative clause. Today's lesson is the water cycle. Okay, but just only one thing was remaining behind, that was non-defining relative clause. So in a short time, I would tell you about that. Okay, beta. Non-defining relative clause is a clause that just tells about only one person. Okay, mean it means it has only one noun, one subject, and it tells about that only. And let me tell you, with two or three or 4 points are there to be remembered in non-defining relative clause, but commas are inserted in it. In defining relative clause, you do not put commas. Okay, I gave you some examples of that. Like I called my brother who lives in Canada, right? There were no commas. But in non-defining, you must use commas. Like my brother, comma, who lives in Canada is older. Okay, it means I have only one brother and I'm just mentioning that he lives in Canada. So you would insert commas. Number two, no necessary to distinguish which thing or person we are talking about. हम किसी जो है किस चीज के बारे में एक से ज्यादा हमारे पास शख्स हैं या चीजें हैं, उनमें से किसी एक को डिस्टिंग्विश नहीं कर रहे. Just only one thing is there, one man is there, and we're talking about that only. No use of that. We cannot use that instead of who, which. In defining, हम who और which की जगह पर that इस्तेमाल कर सकते थे, but in non-defining relative clause we do not use who or that, just only one relative pronoun, and that no, we cannot use that in place of who or which. If there is who, we would use who. If there is which, then we would use which. Mean we cannot use that instead of who or which. For example, these cars which cost a high amount are made in Japan. Okay, so we cannot use this. These cars that cost a high amount. But what we would use here, these cars which cost a high amount, right? Okay. Number four, you are to remember relative pronouns like who, that, which cannot be omitted. In defining relative clauses, we could omit relative pronouns, and we could write like this. That is the man I like. That is the man who I like, whom I like. But we could write like this. That is the man I like, without who or that. But my dear students, in non-defining relative clauses, we cannot use that. Okay, just I like, I like the man. Again, relative pronouns cannot be omitted here. Like they introduced me to John. They introduced me to John, who I liked immediately, yeah, whom I liked immediately. Okay, by putting comma in between. We would not write like this, not we would write this clause like this. Not John I liked immediately, but we would write, they introduced me to John, who I liked immediately. We would not put that in place of who, okay, as we could do in defining. If who is there, then we would keep that as it is. They introduced me to John, who I liked immediately or whom I liked immediately. Okay, we would not write like this. They introduced me to John, I liked immediately. I liked immediately नहीं, बल्कि who को आप दरमियान में रखेंगे, हम इस who को omit नहीं कर सकते. Is that clear? So once again, number one, हम non-defining relative clause में commas जो है वो insert करते हैं, right? I'm telling you in Urdu. Number two, no necessary to distinguish which thing or person we are talking about. Just only one person is there, one thing is there, and we are going to tell something about that, something extra information about that. Number three, no use of that in place of relative pronouns. Okay, if who or which has been used in that, you would keep that. Okay, number four, relative pronouns cannot be omitted. हम इसमें इनको omit नहीं कर सकते, हम इसको जो है वो एज इट इज रखेंगे और हु को खत्म करके आई लाइक, आई जॉइंट, आई प्लेड एटसेट्रा, इस तरह की चीज़ों को हम जो इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते. हम डायरेक्ट जो है वो रिलेटिव प्रोनाउंस हैं तो उन्हीं को ही इस्तेमाल करेंगे. दे इंट्रोड्यूस्ड मी, जैसे कि मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दी, दे इंट्रोड्यूस्ड मी टू जॉन who I liked or whom I liked immediately. Are you following, beta? Okay, thank you so very much. Let's skip over to the water cycle. Non. Yet any confusion regarding that, must you would tell me. Okay. Beta, tell me. If any confusion, I can repeat that for you, please. I would like your SMS. Okay. And listen. Okay, beta. Right. Let's skip over to the next. That is the water cycle. That is actually today's lesson. Okay. My dear students, the water cycle. First of all, we will have to see what is water cycle. अगर ये मैं पूछना चाहूँ कि मेरी आवाज कहाँ से बेटा? The water cycle. So our first point is, what is water cycle? Water on the earth is constantly moving. Okay, it is also written on your screen. You would be able to see that. So it is recycled over and over again. This recycling process called the water cycle. So as I was telling to you, the water cycle is the process of water moving around between the air and land. Or in more scientific terms, the water cycle is the process of water evaporating and condensing on planet Earth in a continuous process. Yes, beta, you will have to write that question and answer in your copy so that you can take that with you as your note or the record. Okay. So what I was telling you, that this process has been happening continuously for millions of years, and without it, there would be no life on Earth. Hmm? So let me tell you, beta, the water in your pot, in your bottle, in your tub wasn't made last week or even last year. It could be the same water that passed through a dinosaur millions of years ago. Okay, it ends up in your water bottle or the tub or the pot. Okay, so we should be thankful to the water cycle, which is always happening. Okay, the next is, why do we need water? Why do we need water? This is important. Why do we need water? Better see on your screen, please. Every human needs water to survive. Hmm? That is the bottom line, but why? The human body weight is approximately 60% water. At birth, the body is about 75% water, and it decreases over time. The human body makes use of water in all cells, organs, and tissues. This water helps regulate body temperature and also helps maintain bodily functions, right? And beta, water is a basic need of the creatures, living or non-living things of this planet Earth. And also mind it, all the crops, animals, birds, and all the marine life even needs water. It's a precious and life-giving thing to everything under the sun. Suppose humans, but every human needs water to survive. That is the bottom line, as I told you, right? So, so water is important for keeping body tissues moist. Water keeps parts of the body like our eyes or mouth hydrated and moisturized. It helps protect the human spinal cord. Water also works to cleanse the body. And better, your body uses water in all its cells, organs, and tissues to help regulate its temperature and maintain other bodily functions. Because your body uses water through breathing, sweating, and digestion. It's important to rehydrate by drinking fluids and eating foods that contain water. And do you remember once we did the project on water saving in our school? And how did we learn that we should not waste water as it's a priceless thing for all the generations and the earth? So, once again, Let's remember and promise neither to pollute nor waste water, but save water. Okay, that's wonderful. Is that clear? May I see your SMS, please? Okay, beta. So here is, okay, Stash. That's all right. And other students, all things are clear to you, please? Okay. Now, beta, next is, see on the page number 26 on your textbook, match each of the following captions to a number on the water cycle diagram. And you can see uh, that diagram on your screen, please. See, beta, here is some things that is going upwards, then clouds, then some arrows, those are showing here, then cloud, those are falling down, the raindrops, then some arrows are showing torrent through which water is uh, going into going into the sea. Okay, it's a cycle, it's a water cycle. So let's match the captions, okay, with the diagram. So beta, number one is C. What is on your diagram? Arrows are going upwards. Okay. So for one, the numbers have been given here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arrows are going. Number 1, then there are clouds. 2, then there are arrows. 3, and then clouds and rain. That's 4, and then arrows are there. Those are showing the torrent or the river or the water channels. Those are carrying the water uh, to drop that water into the sea. That's the number 5. So for 1, there is caption C. That is evaporation. What is happening? Water is evaporating and going upwards. Evaporation, water evaporation into the air. So caption C will be matched with number 1, right? Number 2, you can see on your screen, point is on number 2, red point is on number 2. That is condensation. It's water vapor condenses into clouds. Number 2, you can see there is a cloud. Number 3, wind. Arrow signs are showing wind. Okay, why? क्योंकि बेटा हवा जो है वो बादलों को फिर पुश करके धकेल कर दूसरी साइड पर ले जाती है, और फिर वही बादल जब किसी और ठंडे मकाम पर पहुंचते हैं तो वो बारिश बरसाना शुरू कर देते हैं. Okay, that's number 3 for D. Wind. Clouds are blown and pushed forward because air is there that blows and pushes clouds forward. Point 4, precipitation. Precipitation means rainfall or drizzling. Precipitation means rainfall or drizzling. So water falls as rain, then the same water falls in the shape of rain. 5, that is run off. Caption A, water is running in a water channel to go into the sea once again. ये क्या है? पानी बारिश की शक्ल में नीचे गिरता है, उसके बाद वाटर चैनल्स बनाते हुए जो है वो पानी दोबारा से वापस समुद्र में चला जाता है. दैट इज point 5, and point 5 is for A caption. Okay, beta, is that clear? Once again, let me tell you. C for A, B for 2, D for 3, E for 4, and A for 5. Next point, that is read the text. That is read the text. Better see on the page 26. It is written, read the text below and answer the questions. So we will have to give reading to the text that has been given here on page number 26. It's a very short text. Let's see what is written there. Beta, the Amazon River basin, which lies just below the equator, covers about 40% of South America. Amazon rainforest, which spreads out from the river, has rain almost every day of the year. It is hot and humid, with an average temperature of 27 degrees all year round. Moist air near the ground is heated, which causes it to rise. As it rises, it condenses and forms rain clouds. This is called convectional rainfall. Okay, so after reading this text, let's see now what are the questions that have been given there to give answers to them. Okay, question number 1 is, better see the same questions on the page number 26, little above the text. Question number 1, which is it always warm? Sorry, why is? Let me see. Why is it always warm in the Amazon rainforest? Why is it always warm in the Amazon rainforest? So I do hope that you would have understood what this text is telling us. So by keeping that in mind, let's see the answer. Next slide, if this is possible to share with the students. So you will be able to see the answer. Answer is, the Amazon forest is warm because the Amazon River basin, which lies just below the equator, covers about 40% of South America. The Amazon rainforest, which spreads out from the river, has rain almost every day of the year. Okay, beta, next slide. That is in the control of teacher Faisa, and I do hope that she will be able to change the slide. Okay, now see, beta, see. It has appeared on your screen, please. Once again, I'm going to repeat the answer. Amazon forest is warm because the Amazon River basin, which lies just below the equator, covers about 40% of South America, right? The Amazon rainforest, which spreads out from the river, has rain almost every day of the year. It is hot and humid with an average temperature of 27 degrees all year round. Again, it is hot and humid with an average temperature of 27 degrees all year round. Okay, for this reason, Amazon rainforest is always warm. Right? So let's see now the question number 2. Better I would wind up my lecture because time is going to be over. But the second question, just I would share with you. What is the difference between convectional rainfall and rainfall as shown in the water cycle diagram? So let's see beta what is rainfall first. Rainfall. As the water vapors are risen, cooled, and changed back into tiny drops of liquid water through natural water cycle, forming clouds to fall down is called rainfall. Okay? As the water vapors are risen, cooled, and changed back into tiny drops of liquid water through natural water cycle, forming clouds to fall down. So in this way, this rain is called rainfall, simple rainfall. And